Nocturnal Animals is a new thriller movie from director Tom Ford, mainly starring Jake Gyllenhaal, Amy Adams, Michael Shannon, and Aaron Taylor Johnson.
My ex-husband used to call me a nocturnal animal.
I didn't know you had an ex-husband.
I've been thinking about him a lot lately. And then recently he sent me this book that he's written. It's violent and it's sad. And he dedicated it to me.
I went out of my way to see this movie because it wasn't showing anywhere near me. So I actually made like a 2-hour trip, and I also caught another movie on IMAX while I was there. But it was definitely worth it. I mean, it was a very interesting movie. I mean, beautifully shot and really compelling and interesting. It really makes you think. But it's not without its problems. So right off the bat, it has the weirdest beginning in a movie that I've ever seen. Like, honestly, like, I mean, it might be a slight spoiler, but the cold opening is just four really obese women and fully frontal nudity, just dancing around, like, and some wear hats, some have, like, sparklers. And in the opening scene, I kind of felt like it might have been exploiting the women in the scene. Like, I really felt like the director was doing it for a shock factor. Like, it wanted to shock all the viewers by showing all these women in the beginning of the movie. But I mean, it really doesn't make sense for the film. Like, it's no point to it, other than to say that Amy Adams' character is like an eccentric artist. Like, I mean, it's really almost Tom Ford trying to say something about America, how we're all fat and horrible, and like, I don't know what exactly he's trying to say, but I mean, I think all he's doing is trying to shock the viewer, and it seems kind of pointless. But once the movie gets going, like, it has an interesting framework where, like, the story's in the present, and Amy Adams is a really rich person, but she's having some strife with her husband, Armie Hammer, and she gets a book sent to her from her ex-husband that she hadn't seen for 19 years. And when she starts to read it, the movie plays out the book, like, in her mind. And, honestly, that is the best part of the movie. The book inside the movie is the best part of the movie, because it is enthralling and thrilling and brutal, and I mean, really interesting. But like, it kind of it breaks in between. It goes back into her life, and her life is honestly not that interesting. I almost feel like that's kind of like Tom Ford's life, maybe, but it's not, like, I could have done without the whole setup. Really, I could have just seen the movie in the book. But I mean, there's a lot of things that interesting, like things they're trying to compare to between the two. And also, there's also a third story where you in the past, where you look at their relationship, how they met, and how they broke up. And something, I don't know how they actually did this, but they really made them look younger. And I don't think it was just makeup. Because, I mean, there are things like age lines were kind of almost like smoothed over. It looked like Photoshop. Like, so I don't know if they like went in and did a digital face for them or what. I mean, it wasn't that noticeable, but they definitely looked younger. And I mean, it was well done, young face, whatever it is. So the story in the book is that there's this a family with this Jake Gyllenhaal and Isla Fisher as his wife. It's kind of like, it looks similar to Amy Adams. Like, she's kind of portraying herself with a different character. And the daughter, they're going on a road trip in West Texas, and they encounter these three thugs that kind of run them off the road, and something horrible happens. And then the Michael Shannon as the policeman comes in, and they help get revenge. And it is, I mean, I really love these parts of the movie. And I mean, the first parts, I really have no complaints. Like, I mean, it's not the most happy thing, but I mean, I loved it. And the past, like, is really interesting for the two characters. And the present is what I was most disappointed by, especially in the ending. I won't spoil it, but I found it to be disappointing. Like, I was looking for more of a conclusion, and instead it just ended. And I understand why he did that, but I was still disappointed. I was kind of left with blue balls. Like, I wanted some sort of conclusion, some last scene, and I didn't get it, and it was a little frustrating. Like, it kind of I left the movie with a little bit of bad taste in my mouth because I wanted more. Like, and I said I understand why he did it, but I really wanted more. So, to talk about, there's interesting things I want to talk about from the movie, but to really do that, I have to spoil it. So, if you want to finish the review now, I give it an 8.5 out of 10, and I would recommend it, but with caveats. Like, it is violent, and there is full frontal nudity in the beginning, and so it's not for everyone, but I would recommend it. It's a beautiful film, and I really can't wait to see what he does next, the director. So on the spoilers, you see that the story, the Jake Gyllenhaal's character is an author in the present day and in the past, and when they meet in grad school, and they really truly love each other, and even like Amy Adams loves Jake Gyllenhaal's character, and the mom though, played by Laura Linney, is kind of tells her that he's too weak, his head's in the clouds, he doesn't make enough money, he'll never be successful. You shouldn't. You need to find someone else. But she says, I love him, but so they elope and they get married. And a little later, she meets the Armie Hammer character, who is also at grad school, but is rich and is going to be very successful. And they have arguments, Amy Adams and Jake, and basically she's like repeats what the mom said, how he's weak, he's too weak, and she goes with Armie Hammer and divorces Jake, and even worse, she was pregnant and she gets an abortion, and she's with outside of the abortion clinic in the car hugging Armie Hammer, and Jake comes out in the rain and sees them outside of the clinic hugging, and that's the last time that she sees him. And that is so horrible because essentially she killed their baby and almost killed herself because their relationship is over, and he'll never see her again. So he wrote this book, Nocturnal Animals, and he dedicated it to her. And when the story plays out, these three, like, it's kind of almost like a revenge fantasy for the Jake Gyllenhaal's character, because there's a point where in the flashbacks where he says that she doesn't like his writing, and he says, you put yourself in the books too much. You can't put yourself in. You have to write about something else. And he makes the claim that every author writes about himself. And so this is himself in the book, but it's a version where his wife and daughter are killed, and he can actually get revenge on the people that did it. But in the real life, he can't get revenge. Like, how can he get revenge on Amy Adams divorcing him and aborting their baby? Like, there's no way for him to get revenge for that other than writing this book and ignoring her, and that's his revenge. And there's a lot of interesting imagery throughout the film, like in some of the paintings and some of the things that are going on that they add while Amy Adams reading the book. I will say, though, I should mention it earlier, non-spoiler, but there's one really goofy jump scare, and this is so out of place. Like, I don't know why they did it. It's just stupid. But as for the end, Like, what I didn't like is that they're waiting at they finally, she finishes the book, and she wants to meet up with him and talk about it, and talk about their lives or whatever. And he sends a message back when and where, and she gets all dressed up, and she's kind of looked like throughout in the present day she has a lot of makeup on, and she still wears a beautiful dress with the nice cleavage line, but she like kind of wipes off some of her makeup to be more normal for him. And she goes there, and he never comes. He never shows, and that's the end of the movie. And I know why I did that. It's like that's his revenge for her. That's the only way that he can get revenge on her character. Because I mean, her life is now kind of ruined. Like she's in a loveless marriage, and Armie Hammer is cheating on her, and her like it's that, and they give him that thing. Oh, maybe that we could get together again, and then kind of pull that away from her and kind of remind her that you broke my heart. You did something so horrible that I will never ever speak to you again. And I like that, but I wanted them to confront each other. I wanted them to talk. I wanted some sort of conclusion. Like even if even if they showed Jake Gyllenhaal out like in the parking lot watching her, like or something, some sort of ending I needed, and I didn't get. But I still really enjoyed the film, and I do. I don't know if I want to see it again or not. I'm not sure if I buy it on Blu-ray, but I mean it's a good film. It may be interesting to see it again to see what if I catch anything else. But I mean the three guys like in the storyline, especially Aaron Taylor Johnson, are really really good. I mean they're horrible, but it's really well done, and all the acting is amazing, especially from Jake Gyllenhaal. And Michael Shannon, he's also really good. I mean, like excellent. Like he probably deserves an Oscar nomination for the supporting role. But thanks for watching. And if you like this video, you can check out some of my other video playlists over here. Thanks.